Alright, I am not sure if the first part of this match got saved. We are on the draw against Affinity. Match 2 of this league. They mulled to 4, we mulled to 5. The opponent's doing some stuff, playing out some permanents. We're going to end up bolting that Signal Pest. I shouldn't have played this Flooded Strand to cast the Delver getting Steam Vents. I should have just used this island, just in case we draw Steam Vents. Mandrills, that doesn't punish us yet. Play this island. We're going to attack for 1 here, because Delver's not blocking anything. Hold up Spell Snare. We're probably going to bolt. I want to say the Vault Scourge, but it might be the Signal Pest. Anyways, turns out the breaker for the outlet that my power bar is using also is hooked up to the printer in the next room. Oh, that's getting snared. And that breaker cannot support computer, lamp, monitor, and printer. Before attacks, we're going to bolt. Actually, they have to animate. They can't animate. Let's bolt the Vault Scourge. I think that's worth more to me. What do we got? Mandrills again. That's fine. It's fine. In for 1. We're alright. We're probably not going to flash in the Snapcaster Mage. So anyways, I was recording for probably 2 minutes, and then the power in my room went out, and this happened the other day when I wasn't recording, and I thought, oh no, ran downstairs, realized the power was still on in the rest of the house, got to the breaker, turned it off, turned it on, booted back up, and here we are in MTGO, not losing the match from getting disconnected. Wow. Okay, so reconnecting caused a bit of a bug. Blinkmoth's art is very messed up. When we zoom in, okay, it's back to this, whatever this is. I think that's like default art for when there's no art. I think that's a thing. I'm not entirely sure. We're going to take 2 here. They go to end step. In case we draw a land, I don't want to flash in Snapcaster Mage. We're not having good luck with this Delver of Secrets or finding our 3rd land. The opponent, I guess, isn't having great luck either, but we don't really care about their luck. We're more concerned with our luck. Mandrills, Nux. Definitely not what we want to see. Steel Overseer. Okay. If we can just hit a land or a burn spell, that'd be fantastic. Delver. Sorry, Delver. You're not what I wanted. I love you, Delver. You're great. Didn't want to see you here. I still don't think we flash in that Snapcaster Mage. Bolt is probably too valuable for us for me to want to do that. It speeds up our clock. But I mean, would the 6 damage really matter if they find something like a Cranial Plating or this Steel Overseer? This Overseer going to put a counter on the Nexus, a counter on the Signal Pest? That's going to be pretty significant. I'm not sure why it's the Blink Moth in specific that got messed up from me disconnecting and coming back. I'm pretty sure this art was normal when I first started recording. Flooded Strand was also temporarily messed up, I think. Here's a Signal Pest. That's going to get a counter. This game is pretty quickly slipping out of reach. Blink Moth comes up. Counters on everything from Overseer. Signal Pest gonna give a temporary buff. Not quite counters. We're gonna take 3 here, 1 here. That's 4. That could be worse. That could be worse. Makes me kind of want to not attack if the Delvers transform. But in that scenario, they just get to put counters on their creatures for an indeterminate amount of time. Here's a Mana Leak, okay. So, are we winning the race at all? They animate this. Let's assume their hand is garbage. Animate. Oh, dear. Their hand is going to be far from garbage. Okay. Anyways, let's pretend we get to mana leak whatever good draw they have. They animate Nexus. That's currently a 2/2. They put a counter on everything. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This gets +2/+0 because of 2 Signal Pest triggers. That's 9. These each get 1. That's 11. So we need to block at least 1 creature. I think we're going to swing with 1. We need to do a non-zero amount of damage to them. So we're going to swing with 1 guy. If we just sit back, I think we're just in a terrible spot. So I believe we're attacking here. We actually would have ended up playing this Flooded Strand on turn 2 to cast the Lightning Bolt, hold up the Spell Snare with the Island. So at this point, we're not getting punished. If we drew the Steam Vents right away, or if we drew an Island right away, it doesn't matter. It's specifically the Steam Vents if we draw right after playing this Flooded Strand, because then we have 2 red sources when we could have drawn 1 red source and then just gotten a green source off the Breeding Pool, which would have let us cast quite a few things at our leisure. I guess the Mandrills actually would have been pretty bad. Nux we would have cast at some point. That also requires us to draw another land. Did they pay Phyrexian mana just now? It looked... They lost 1 life? Oh, Spire. That's why they lost 1 life. They know about Mana Leak. I'm not sure what they're going for here. If I'm the opponent, I kind of just like animating the Nexus, growing everything with the Overseer and shipping in. Makes Mana Leak a lot worse. I'm not sure Snap Bolt is even what we want at this point. Flashing in Snapcaster Mage also looks pretty bad. If we flash in Snapcaster Mage and they have no blockers available, we might top deck a Bolt for the win. That also requires our untapped Delver to survive combat. Well, we just have to counter that, right? They know we're countering that. There's no doubt about it. So they're going for the don't animate line. We had to hold up this blocker for nothing, but if we didn't hold up the blocker, I'm pretty sure we die. So I'm willing to lose out on some tempo in exchange for living. Signal Pests are going to get big. We're waiting for the rest of this to resolve. I wonder, I'm going to check. This is on the other monitor. Let's go to videos. Did it happen? It looks like it saved. It might be corrupt, but it looks like we have a file here. So we might actually have the very beginning, which I think is worth putting in, even though I'm going to have to sit through Movie Maker. I would probably have attacked with those Signal Pests, but maybe they're going for 1 big turn. That's possible. Okay. Snap Bolt. How good is it? Oh, we have to do so much math here. We almost certainly are going to go for Snap Bolt, right? Because if we don't, I guess we play a Mandrills, maybe Knuckleblade, hold these back. 1 more turn and we're basically not blocking because these Signal Pests are big enough. If they activate the Overseer 1 more time, the Signal Pests are large enough that they can get through Delver of Secrets, which is a serious cost. Which means we probably shock, go to 7, Snap Bolt the Overseer, turn those lines off. They animate Nexus, swing with all 3, 3 power, 3 power, 2 triggers, 4 power. That's 7. We block 1 of them, go very low, but we're alive. The alternative was we play Mandrills, swing with 1. They get this as well. Our Delvers are going to die in combat. Delver can still trade with Blinkmoth, but then we lose both Delvers. Don't think I like that. Target Lightning Bolt. I don't want to let them untap. If they untap, they get to activate Overseer and we basically lose. Now, this can't block Delver, so I think we want to attack here with exactly 1. It's really not great, but it's the best we got. We still need to hold the 1 back or we lose. If they draw something like a Cranial Plating, we probably lose. If they had a land, they probably would have played it by now, especially if it was a man land. This has been a really close game so far. Probably facilitated by the fact that we mulled to 5, they mulled to 4, and we stalled on basically anything. We had a Delver that didn't transform for probably 5 turns. Let's check. When did Delver transform? Not their turn 2. I think it was around our 4th turn. Let's see. On our 5th turn, we cast the second Delver, so it wasn't there. It would have been turn 6. Our 6th turn, we revealed Mana Leak. So it was turn 6 that this Delver transformed, so that stumbled. We stumbled on lands, specifically the green source, while drawing Fatty, 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 I believe successively. Stumbling on lands hurt the Snapcaster Mage. Having Spell Snare and Bolt in hand for our opener was very good. That I like. That was a good thing. That's what went well thus far. We were able to deal with basically 2.5 payoff cards, I'd say. We snared this, leaked this, and we got to bolt this after a couple of activations, which could have been worse. The opponent is maybe in the tank. I'm not sure what they're in the tank about. They have a Signal Pest and a Signal Pest, both of which can't block. They have no mana available. I'm actually getting deja vu. I feel like I've had a board like this where the opponent had Signal Pests and no mana, and they were in the tank here. I feel like that was a while ago, though. I don't even think that was on MTGO. It definitely wasn't in leagues. I can't say definitely. I don't think it was in leagues. You guys would know, because those get recorded. So if you remember this, let me know. It could have been in the tournament practice room, but I feel like it wasn't. It might have been on X-Mage. That's possible. Or maybe I'm just getting deja vu and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Fun fact, since we have tons of time to kill, with our opponent either being AFK or just really deep in the tank over what I think is nothing, they can't even have 2 gut shots in hand, so I don't know what's up. It's possible we're lagging really hard, but I doubt it. So, match 1 was against Bogles, which was a slaughter, and then match 2, I'd say spoiler alert, but it was like a 6-minute match. It's not a spoiler. If a match against... It's a match with Bogles in the title against our deck that lasted 6 minutes. And you can see the time there when you go to it, when it gets uploaded. So, it's kind of a spoiler, but it's not a spoiler. We got wrecked. Anyways, that happened. We played Magic for like 7 minutes probably. I hopped into match 2. And then the power went down, and I basically lost it. I was very upset. My composure was great, even though you guys didn't get to witness that, but you know what? I just got disappointed, ran downstairs, and you know what? We pulled it off, because here we are playing Magic. So, we are just about done with this. There's not much reason for us to watch this. This isn't entertaining. This isn't useful. Let's go to the collection. Check out our modern decks. We're going to go to RUG Delver. Take a look at the list we're playing. Is there anything to say about the list we're playing right now? I don't think there's anything relevant pertaining to this match. Stuff I'm thinking of. Young Peasy is definitely still in its trial period. There are a lot of matchups in which I don't like it. Specifically, the very aggressive ones, where we're on the back foot and we don't really have much of an opportunity to play a 2-1. I'm thinking of replacing it. It helps in combo matchups, but we're pretty good in combo matchups. So I feel like if I cut it, I'm not going to look for a middle of the road card. I'm just going to go straight to mid-range Haymaker. Right now, I'm mostly... Oh, I'm so mad. We didn't declare blocks because I thought we were still in theirs. I'm so mad. Alright, that's fine. We would have blocked this Ink Moth. We would have taken 6, gone to 1. They played a Memnite. We untap. And we probably lose anyways, but we had a chance. And that's what makes me upset. Anyways, let's head back to the sideboard. We didn't lose much percentage-wise from not noticing that MTGO did a lot of stuff. Maybe we did lag, but their clock was down to 14-something, so I think that was their clock ticking down. I'm thinking of replacing Young Pyromancer with something like Keranos. It's graveyard independent. It's a huge haymaker for mid-range and control, and it's hard to answer, so that's something I like. I want to bring in the Mountain, Removal, Huntmaster, more removal, Ceremonious Rejection because it counters artifacts very nicely. Artifacts that aren't Master of Ethereum, at least. We're going to board out Shoal, we're going to board out 3 Mandrills. Savage Knuckleblade, Dismember's going to stay. We want the Snapcaster Mages. All 3 Thought Scours can go. We would much rather be interacting here. Do we cut H reverse and something I missed? A Denial and a Mana Leak, that's it. Because we're boarding in the rejections. I'm going to pull up the spreadsheet quickly. That's in the description for those of you who want to see it. How I sideboard, let's get that out of the way. Affinity, 3 Mandrills, 1 Nux, 3 Scour, 1 Shoal, Leak Denial, Ancient Grudge, Revelry, Rejections, both sweepers, also the EE, which is technically a sweeper, Mountain, Huntmaster, so we did all of that just fine. We're going to submit. I had everything pulled up nice and organized prior to the power going down, but that's not really here or there. We have a lot of removal with this hand, and we have very little besides. I think we're going to keep it. I think we can run it. We've got our lands, so the top of our deck is looking very nice. We have very relevant removal here with the Rejection and the Revelry. How do we want to sequence these land drops? We're not playing the Mountain because I want to hold up Rejection in case they're just going nuts. Probably Flooded Strand because I almost certainly want to get a blue source here. Both pieces of our relevant interaction here are blue. And chances are, if we have a Flooded Strand in hand, we're going to use it to get a blue source. Vault Scourge is fine. It's also not colorless, and it's not a non-creature. Do we want the Breeding Pool? Breeding Pool doesn't seem bad here. We're probably going to end up shocking anyways with one of these lands. I'm going to grab the Breeding Pool now. Draw a card. It's a Forked Bolt. I kind of want to wait on that one. Play out the Foothills in case I want to get a Steam Vents or something. I almost certainly am getting a Steam Vents here. The opponent's going to hit us. Means they don't have much. I do want to give them the option of playing into Forked Bolt. And I think that's more valuable to me than stopping the 2-point life swing. Steel Overseer, something like that. That's what I want to punish. Steam Vents gives us double blue. I think that's better than double green. We already have double red. Not looking to Vapor Snag anything. Another fetch. Do we play that? Or do we hold up 2 counter spells? I'm going to play out the Mountain. 1 damage to each. Pay red. I want to be able to cast either 2 counters or Revelry. So I want 2 mana available. And I don't want to shock with this. So I don't really want to play the Wooded Foothills just yet. The opponent's got a Cranial Plating. And I feel like that is worth rejection. We're going to untap. Kozilek's Return, that's pretty good. Hopefully we find a threat soon. That would be nice. I have suffered from not having a threat against Affinity before, and they eventually just ran us over with manlands. Second plating, that's fine. We probably end step Revelry. Would I rather Revelry the Nexus? I don't think so. I don't think that's worth doing. I do want to take out this red-green, and we're going to fetch. Get the double green, triple blue, triple red. Think I'd rather have triple blue, especially with this hand. Means we don't get the second green source. We're not going to play around Blood Moon. Doesn't seem relevant to me. Bolt, that's pretty good. Go to the opponent. Still stalling on threats, but we have plenty of interaction, which is good. Darksteel Citadel means we're basically never killing Etched Champion, if not with Kozilek's Return, so I'm going to do my best to save the return. We're probably going to end up bolting this Signal Pest. Them tapping the Nexus. Ooh, Aether Grid's pretty good. That'll kill us eventually, and we can't counter it with the Denial. Think we want to bolt this Signal Pest before that resolves so they can't just tap it and the Citadel to hit us for 1 right here. That resolves. We're going to untap. Serum Visions is pretty good. Use the red source. Huntmaster is great. Denial probably bad. I want Dismember in case of Master of Ethereum. I think that's worth keeping. We're probably going to tap out next turn for Huntmaster. I think that'll be okay. I don't really want to use the Kozilek's Return unless I have to. How good is tapping out for Huntmaster when they have Aether Grid? We might actually just Kozilek's Return here. They're not going for combat. That's interesting. If we play this Huntmaster, they animate Nexus, they tap 4 artifacts, and they just kill it. We gain 2 life and make a 2/2, so that's not the worst. I think I'd rather hold on to it, though. I think I'm going to wait. I'd like for them to have fewer artifacts when I play my very fragile win condition. They're going to get to hit us for some damage. If they animate the Blink Moth there, we could take that out. Looks like they're being much more conservative than that. That should be quite okay. Animate Blink Moth. Okay. If they go for attacks, we're going to return here. I suppose we could always Snapcaster return if they hit the Etched Champion, so that's not bad. That's something. Taking out 2 artifacts here is something I like a lot, because it just makes it less likely that they can have 4 artifacts available to take out our Huntmaster of the Fells. Deal 2 to each creature. Clean that up a little bit. That trigger is going to resolve and do a lot of nothing. The opponent's got a follow-up play. It's an Overseer, and I might just dismember that right here. I am going to dismember that right here. Go down to 10. Going to 10's not pretty. We're going to go back up to 12 with Huntmaster. We're weak to Master of Ethereum, but if they had it, they would have played it. And we still have ways. We're going to take 1. That's fine. Untap. Bolt. Would have preferred to take out the Master of wow. Steel Overseer. Would have preferred to take that out with Bolt. That's what I tried to say. Words are hard. If the opponent has 2 artifacts that they can play without tapping the Citadel, they can take out Huntmaster here. They've got 1. Do they have a second? Nope. Us untapping is pretty great. I'm going to swing with the team because these aren't doing any blocking. Attack with all. I also don't think I'm going to cast Serum Visions here because I would like Huntmaster to transform. We can always bolt the Signal Pest on their turn. If this is a Galvanic Blast, I'm going to be sad. We can't counter that because we don't have Ferocious yet. So let's get priority. Let that resolve. That's going to go down, and I think we take out the Signal Pest. Do we take out the Signal Pest? Is it worth it? If they have another artifact, it could be worth it. But if they have another artifact, we can bolt in response. Take priority off on the end step. They're going to shoot us. That's reasonable. Actually, if they have a Darksteel Citadel, we can't bolt in response. And now we're kind of locked into not bolting at all. We draw. It's a leak. That's not the best here. Gonna start off with Visions, see what our options are. The graveyard is stocked. Tarmogoyf. That's something I like. Delver I don't really want. We're gonna play out this Flooded Strand. It gives us options in case we really need it. I'm gonna swing with the Wolf. If they put the Ink Moth ability on the stack, we probably just bolt the Signal Pest. Otherwise, we probably are gonna wait. Go to their turn. We can't leak a Cranial Plating. We can leak a Master of Ethereum. That's good. They're trying to animate, which makes me kind of want to bolt this, just so they can't tap all 4 to deal with our Wolf. But that's actually a non-problem because we have Goyf on top of the deck. Goyf turns on Stubborn Denial. That's very good. They do 1 damage to the Wolf. I want to let them do the 2nd damage. Before I do anything, I think we just take out the Ink Moth. That seems fine. Don't think we care about taking out the Signal Pest. It also makes our Mana Leak better, which is very relevant. Now we can take out a Cranial Plating off the top with Leak. That's something I like. Master of Ethereum's getting leaked regardlessly of what I bolt. I guess we could have Vapor Snagged Master of Ethereum this entire time I was concerned with it. So that's not really a problem either. I'm going to draw Tarmogoyf, and I'm going to turn the heat up to 11. We've got Stubborn Denial to counter Galvanic Blast. We're putting a bunch of pressure on them. They're going to shoot us for 1. That's fine. With the Vapor Snag, we actually have a 2-turn clock here, so that's pretty relevant. The opponent doesn't know about anything in our hand. It's a Springleaf Drum. They're probably going to use that to just bolt us more. That's fine. We're winning the race. Don't think I want to crack the Flooded Strand because that could speed up their clock. Ceremonious Rejection, pretty good. Vapor Snagging the Signal Pest isn't that relevant because it technically speeds up our clock, but they're just going to replay it and then tap it. We're going to take 4 damage here between them tapping these 4, untapping, and tapping them again. That's fine. We go to 5. 5 is plenty of life. We take 1. Happens. We take another 1. We've got Galvanic Blast covered with the Denial. We've got pretty much everything else covered with Rejection. If they don't have any other blockers, we're going to bounce the Signal Pest. 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, Etch Champion. Deal with that. Vapor Snag the Signal Pest. Call it game. Head over to game 3 against Affinity here. That sounds like something we want to do. They're going to scoop to that. That's fine. Alright. Whew. That was a pretty intense match, I'd say. A lot of stuff going on. Are we doing anything here in the sideboard? I feel like we're not doing anything here in the sideboard. I don't think I've ever changed anything post-board against Affinity. There's something of an argument for caring about cutting a Traverse, but we're playing a pretty long game here, and we're playing a pretty high curve here. So I don't think that's something I want to do. I want all my removal. Don't want to go any lower on threats because we're already pretty low. I'm going to run it. See what the opponent does. Heading into game 3 here. Still second match of the league. How is this hand? Turn 1 Forked Bolt. Turn 2 Goyf. Turn 3 do some stuff. I like it. I'm going to keep. Let the opponent take their turn. Turn 1 Ink Moth. Is it a classic Affinity draw? It doesn't look like it. It might be. Tap that Memnite, play a Signal Pest. Play another Springleaf Drum. Oh my. Oh my. We're not going to Forked Bolt a lone Memnite. I might hold on to the Lightning Bolt, though, to take out something. That could be possible. I also might just take out this Memnite to slow down their mana production. That's something relevant. It means they can't tap these without playing another creature. Affinity does have a good number of creatures. That might not be what we want to do. We're also not really doing anything else on turn 1. So I kind of just want to pay shock here and bolt the Memnite. Now I don't know if I want to Forked Bolt or Bolt, and that's very relevant. Bolt is better instant speed. I think I'm going to get the Forked Bolt out of my hand and just give up on the 2-for-1 Dream here so that I have Bolt at instant speed. We're going to hit them in the mana. Hopefully that pays off for us. If it doesn't, it's still probably going to slow them down. Just another Springleaf Drum. That makes me happy. We're going to get a basic Forest here because we don't have huge mana requirements, especially with this hand. And we also aren't really doing anything else. I want to save life. I think that's more than worth it. Here's an Arcbound Ravager. That's fine. They're going to animate... No, they're just playing a Vault Scourge. That's fair. That is very fair. Oh, it's a Thoughtcast. That's pretty good. That's very good. Alright, we're going to swing. Play this out first. Denial for Cranial Plating. We have 2 removal spells in Bolt plus Vapor Snag, so I might force the issue of this Arcbound Ravager right here. We bolt the Ravager. They either are going to go all in on the Nexus, all in on the Ornithopter, possibly just let it happen. If they get too greedy, we're just going to bounce whatever they try to put the counters on. They have a good few extra Springleaf Drums, so I wouldn't be surprised if the opponent sacks at least one of those. We're going to see what they decide on. And then we will react accordingly. 7 minutes left for us. A little more than that, a lot more than that. We've got almost 8 minutes, actually. The opponent with about 8.5 minutes. We're going to want to hustle at least a bit. They might just sack 3 artifacts to let it survive the bolt, but I don't think that's very likely. It's possible. 2 artifacts, sacrificed. If they sack 1 more, they're pretty iffy as to whether or not they'll be able to move the counters onto a Nexus. Okay, so they're going with the Survive Lightning Bolt plan. How do we respond to that? Do I want to Vapor Snag anything? We could bounce the Arcbound Ravager, which doesn't seem that great. I think I'm going to leave it at that. That seems pretty okay to me. Not great. If we try to bounce anything here, if we say bounce the Ravager, they are going to animate the Ink Moth with these 2. Sack the Ravager. This will be a 5/5, and that's bad. Yeah, I'm just going to let this happen. Hold on to the Vapor Snag so we can react. They put a land. Is it land that grew the Goyf? No, it's Thoughtcast that grew the Goyf. No, it's Bolt that grew the Goyf. I was wrong several times. Goyf's a 3-turn clock. That's something I like. 3 mana for an Arcbound Ravager. That's going to resolve. Second Ravager actually doesn't do much. They're going to ship in for 4. That's perfectly fine. I'm not going to crack the Misty Rainforest here. They can't. Actually, cracking the Misty here is fine. I didn't want to crack this so that we'd have access to blue mana. If we give up blue mana and then they animate the Ink Moth, put the counters on it, we're in a bad spot. At least we're in a worse spot than otherwise. As is, they can't animate the Nexus. So I'm just going to get my island now. In fact, I'm going to get another Steam Vents, since that's not going to cost us additional life. Snapcaster Mage is a really good draw. That means we can actually try to fight them. In with Goyf. Snapcaster Mage means we have access to 3 removal spells over the course of a few turns, which is very nice. Overseer, that's going to resolve. Well, we can't counter it, so it's definitely going to resolve. We probably are going to want to use the Kozilek's Return here. I'm going to take damage first. We Kozilek's Return. They probably put a lot of stuff on one creature, and then we untap and Vapor Snag it. Oh, they're going now. Okay. If they go too big on this, I'm just going to punish that. But that's fine. 2-turn clock. Very respectable. We're going to force the issue. Make them give up 3 dudes. They might save the Ravager, just sacrifice these 2 creatures. That's possible. We'll probably Vapor Snag something anyways. If we draw another blue source, we get to snag Snap Snag. Just totally punish them. I definitely want to use this Kozilek's Return at my earliest convenience to deal with this Overseer. So I like doing it now. It also forces the issue on their flyer, which is something I like. They're going all in. Are they going all in? Oh, no, oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. I like the way they split that. Protects them from 1 removal spell. We can't Snap Bolt and Vapor Snag. If they swing with both of these, we can't really stop them. We might have to... We can block the Arcbound Ravager. Yes, we can. I think... How many cards do we have in the bin? I'm trying to figure out what we can do. I want to attack here. I also want to play Mandrills, and I want to hold up a removal spell. We can delve 4 cards, hold up Vapor Snag, which is at least okay. Use Mandrills to block the Ravager. If they have a Galvanic Blast, we're going to be in trouble due to keeping the Bolt in the yard, but we can actually play around that by delving the Bolt and relying on Vapor Snag to give us the removal we need to win this game. So I think that's our plan. Get in with Goyf. We need to kill them soon. We're going to delve the entire graveyard. That's okay. Hold up Vapor Snag and Stubborn Denial. Mandrills is going to block the Ravager. If they try to put all the counters on the Ornithopter, we're going to Vapor Snag that. And that's about it. I think that's all there is to it as far as this turn goes. Also a very intense game. I like playing against these kinds of decks. It's fun. Here's the colored mana source, which enables them to Galvanic Blast. This is exciting. Notably, Welding Jar doesn't save them from Vapor Snag, so that's neat. What else do we got here? What else is going on? The opponent's going to combat, so it's time. Let's see the attacks. I imagine it's both. I would swing with both. We're going to just block the Ravager, not Vapor Snag anything yet. I am totally willing to take 2. If they try to put everything onto that Ornithopter, I'm just going to snag it. They actually might have their own counters. That's possible. Affinity sometimes runs things like Spell Pierce. Sometimes even Stubborn Denial. I've seen people, or I've heard about people saying they play Stubborn Denial. I don't know if I've actually ever seen it in a list. I'm pretty sure I have. They sack, trying to put everything there. I'm going to Vapor Snag this now. Pay blue. They're trying to close out the game. I want to Vapor Snag this now so that it can't get... I guess them not getting Ferocious is totally irrelevant. Totally irrelevant. Doesn't matter at all. We dealt with the second Ravager, and they scooped. We just took the match. That was such a good one. That gets me fired up. Wow. That was fun. Good, clean magic. It was a good time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.